There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
In a very short period of time, 5-Axis Innovations has become a leader when it comes to building and designing interactive custom displays that help businesses improve, enhance, and really get forward in their showroom. Today, we have the owner, Jody Culbertson, in the studio with us today for this special 12-Volt Insider, where we go behind the scenes and uncover what's happening at 5-Axis Innovations. This is a CMA 12-Volt Insider presented by SiriusXM, and it starts now. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to 12-Volt Insider. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And if you're new to the channel, this segment is really kind of focused on things that are not necessarily brand centric. In other words, items in the industry which are very important to the bigger picture, but not necessarily just a brand. And this fits the bill perfectly because 5-Axis Innovations, if you haven't heard, is an outfit that literally specializes in creating interactive displays for both manufacturers and retailers alike. Everything is custom designed. They sit with you, they figure out what you need. And today we're going to uncover all the different services and products that they offer, a little bit of the philosophy behind their business, and really understand all the different details that could really help you make a decision that could change the way your business operates. And that's no joke. So at this time, let's go ahead and invite the owner of 5-Axis Innovations. His name is Jody Culbertson. I'd love to invite him to the studio. What's going on, Jody?
Hey, Ben, how are you, bud?
Man, I'm 12-Volt Insider gets me excited because I don't get to do these every day. And that's not to discredit all the other shows we do, but these ones are fun because these ones focus on businesses or organizations that are a real important part of the fabric of the industry, but not necessarily in the traditional sense.
Well, just to be even included in that is an honor. It really is. It really, truly is. We've worked very hard trying to solidify ourselves in becoming a leader in this industry. And we're very grateful. We're grateful for the organization you guys have done. We're grateful for the consumers. We're grateful for the suppliers. It's been a heck of a roller coaster, to say the least. And we're very happy to be where we are.
Well, you're saying grateful. We're grateful to you as well. And if you guys tuning in don't know, 5-Axis Innovations is our presenting sponsor for our Roundtable series, where we get all the different retailers together on different themes. And there's incredible contests that we're going to be talking about actually tonight, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, you mentioned you guys have been busy. Obviously, we know this, but apparently there's some new updates you want to share. What is going on in the 5-Axis world? Did you recently move or something?
We did. We ironically, after 5 years of being in the small little space that we started in, we got to move, and that was exciting. A lot of retailers out there are able to do the same thing, and I've experienced what everybody else has, the dramatic craziness of moving, and it's been an absolute stress pit for the last six weeks. But we're in, and we're very thankful to have that. But yes, we've been able to move. We've been able to buy extra CNC machines. We've got another edge bander. We've got multiple new tools in the shop. So we actually have space. So we're very excited to have space. That was our dilemma. One of our greatest thankful part of this whole move was the ability to have space to stockpile products. No different than what the retailers are experiencing right now. We're having the same problem with shortages. And my stress was always forecasting wood, forecasting acrylic, forecasting, acrylic panels, whatever it might be. Well, now we're in the area to be able to triple our inventory levels so that we don't have to rely on just-in-time inventory like we've had to over the years.
Oh man, so that's, I mean, and that's part of the growth process, right? And, you know, as you grow, now you're making the space and planning for it, and that's great news for customers. So, you know, you've said it in the past, and I kind of want to give you an opportunity to reiterate this statement. And that statement is, you know, 5-axis, Ben, you've told me, can be one of the most amazing business partners for a retail store or a manufacturer. Do you care to elaborate, please?
You know, we really, you know, first of all, one of the greatest parts about our job is the fact that we get to meet some amazing people in this industry. You know, from consumers to suppliers, you know, my relationship with guys have just expanded, and I'm really grateful. I love picking up the phone with a new customer every day, talking to them, because it's a new person to talk to. And ultimately, our guys are committed to helping change retailers' lives. You know, a lot of retailers out there spend a lot of time, a lot of money to invest in themselves. And I get it. We had to invest in ourselves the last 6 months for this move. And I get it's a big, big step. And we want to make sure that when we invest in them and they invest in us, they get what they're looking for. You know, we spend a lot of time spending it with these guys, trying to understand what makes them successful, because every retailer has their own niche. They do things a certain way. And we want to make sure that we tailor to that, but we also accent all the qualities that make them great. We make them better. So we really hone in on that when we come and do a store with any supplier or with any retailer.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to back that statement up a little bit later on the segment today, Jody, because we got some testimonial videos from your customers, and we'll see what they had to say about working with you and the team. Last but not least, before I give you the stage to do the presentation today, so we can walk through all the crazy product that you offer and the services, can you give us just like a little overview of what we're about to learn today?
What I really wanted to bring to the table is we've been fortunate enough over the last year to hire a full-time graphic artist. And that's taken a load off my plate, because I used to be involved tremendously on that. And now I've been able to kind of put that off to the side, still help, be involved, but have someone take the bull by the horns and do a much better job than I was doing back in the day. But one of the beautiful parts of what I want to talk about today is show all the elements of what we do. You know, really try to hone in on, we do displays, we do outdoor stuff, we do fixtures, we do posters, we do all this type of stuff. And I want to really bring that to the forefront, because retailers have to feel comfortable when they invest in themselves. We have some customers that will invest a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000, whatever it might be. But the point is this: I want retailers of any frame to feel comfortable to phone us up and say, hey, I'd like to do a poster in my store. I'd like to do a new marine board in my store. I'd like to do an OEM or a new front counter. Whatever it might be, to accent what they do in their store to make them better. You know, window tint is a big one. Vehicle wrap's getting bigger. Guys think that when they retro a store, they have to spend tens of thousands of dollars, and that is just not the case. Okay, you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to redo your store. You can do it piece by piece. You may be moving into a new location. You may be wanting to say, you know what, I'm going to step up. I'm going to spend 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever that money number might be. The point is, you're reinvesting in yourself. Some guys take 3-4 years to do it. Some guys take 6 months. The point is, you're always trying to offer your consumers a little different flair when they come into your store.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, you've got me all excited and pumped up now. Why don't I give you an opportunity to go ahead and set up that presentation, Jody, that we're about to go through. And, you know, for those of you tuning in, take some notes. This is an opportunity for you to understand all the different, not only products, but the services that 5-axis can help you with. We're going to see a ton of different examples. And like I promised at the end, after Jody does all his presentation, we're even going to have some testimony videos. And we're going to do some walkthroughs of some stores that 5-axis helped set up and see how they are doing with these displays, you know, months after they've been installed and the feedback that we get from them. But before we get to that, Jody, you have the next, you know, few minutes to go ahead and present everything we have. And when you come back, for sure, we'll have a discussion, and we're even going to meet some of your team members. So you have the floor, sir.
All right. Thanks, Ben. All right, so I just want to start out with a few different options that we offer. You know, obviously we're known for audio displays. You know, that is a big forefront of what we started to do as a company. So I want to show you just some of the options we offer. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. You can see us on our website. But I'm just going to kind of walk through and talk to you about the different solutions we do offer. This is a store that we did here a little while ago called Safe and Sound, which you will actually see a little bit more of through the presentation. But this is known as our high-end board. This is one of the best boards we build. This display is all wood construction. It's rear vented. It's tuned for the speakers. It's curved design, so the speakers are all facing you. As you walk up to the board, you get a perfect environment with that sound. You also get the full RGB lighting. We also did an 8-speaker, and then we did a 12-speaker system. Okay, they wanted to do more of a collage of what they do for speakers, and then they wanted the 8-speaker to be kind of the best of what they do and what they offer. And as you see in the corner, we did a head unit display. They do a lot of head units in this store, and they really wanted to showcase what they do and how they do it. But one of the things that we're stuck with as an industry is the fact that when a customer comes in, they may not want to upgrade their speakers. They may not want to upgrade their sub. They may not want to upgrade their amp. They think a head unit's going to change everything. Well, we know that may not be the case all the time. So this display gives the customer the opportunity to hear a set of speakers off the head unit. They can then hit a button to show what it sounds like with an amplifier, which is a dramatic difference. And then they're able to add in a subwoofer. And the idea is to be able to take a customer who's maybe looking just for a head unit and get them interested in audio and walk them over to the audio section. That's the whole goal of that head unit display. And again, we do all the glowing on the bases for the subwoofers, you know, trying to get them off the floor, give them some sex appeal, make them look cool. We really try to make that look and present the way that product should be presented. This is another audio display. This is one of our generational ones with the curved design. We did a full graphic for this customer. He wanted the full lifestyle image on it, as well as we did the head units off to the side, and we did OEM integration on the right. I wanted everyone to see the difference in the halo design because the halo is very cool as well, how you can RGB it, change it, colors. One of the unique things about this audio display is that we did the sound dampening down the middle. So we gave the customer the ability to sell a dampening product while they are buying speakers. So after they're done a pair of speakers, they can be shown what a factory speaker sounds like, what an upgrade speaker sounds like in an OEM location, as well as how a professional install sounds like. And we want that customer understanding that if you put sound damping in your vehicle, it's going to sound better. And here's why. So our attachment, I believe, last time I checked with a lot of our guys, is 85 to 90% sound damping on their speaker sale, which is very, very exciting. Here's a store we just finished. Actually, we were lucky enough to work with Audio Express over the last few years, and they just did a major revamp of a lot of their stores, and this is how their audio wall now looks. They did a entry-level section. They did a Carplay with all their top-of-the-line speakers, and then they did another section with a lot of Kenwood product and JL product on. Again, custom graphics. We did large poster across the top, but a very clean look. This, you know, my hat goes off to Rob from Audio Express. He had a vision of what he wanted, and he really kind of led me down to what he wanted to do. And him and I worked together very closely on this to realize this vision. And his goal was to create the 24, 25 stores that they have out there, all consistent, have a family look between them all. Here's another display that we did with Memphis, which just strictly graphics of their products. Okay, so if guys call us up and they want to do a brand display of maybe, you know, it could be Alpine, Rockford, you know, Hertz, Memphis, it could be any brand. We can do some custom graphics for you and make it look really cool. This is a smaller Carplay design, obviously from Audio Express, that we just saw with the head units and with the speakers. Again, these are tuned enclosures. These are wooden enclosures on the side, and they're vented on the side to sound amazing. They actually really do sound. The mid bass comes out beautifully on these boards. So that is an option that is out there. And then this is our smaller curved design, our high-end display with just 4 pairs of speakers, 4 amplifiers, head unit, and obviously the cool edge lighting. Front counters. For the last 2 or 3 years, we've been getting more and more requests on how we can do this. And this was a challenge of mine to create a counter that I felt was worth putting our name on it. We really wanted to make it cool. So I wanted to show you, this is our 8-foot counter. This can hold 2 different computers. You can get a custom graphic. You can get the halo lighting. And then you can do the same thing, another 8-foot counter, but we decided to cut the acrylic through the front of the display. This customer had a 212 logo motoring. He would like that done. We took on the challenge. Believe me, I spent a lot of hours figuring out how to make that work, but it turned out beautifully. And as you can see, it's just another reference to that design. This here is an Audio Express counter. This, again, was Rob's envision for the company. He wanted a counter that looked a certain way, and we came up with that concept. And we also came up with the concept of a flat top that's seamless, okay? The backlit halo, the graphic, it all turned out really well. And the cool part about that ships on one skid. One skid to the store and you have a new front counter. That's the cool part. We do spend a lot of time when we design stuff to figure out how to ship it. This is the system that we did at Car Toys in Atlantic City area. This has two 8-foot counters with a handicap section in the middle with some drawers. So you get the custom graphics, you get the edge lighting, and as well as our 12-foot counter. This is one that we did at Sounds Fast in Oregon. We did the different color lights on this one. We did the Chase LEDs on this one. And this is a very popular one. The 12-foot counter is very, very popular for us. A lot of guys ask what it looks like behind the counter. One of our claim to fames with everything that we do are there no edges. There's no straight corners. Everything is curved. So as you can see on this, looking at the back, there's a curved corner. You also see that there's a file folder holder. His guys there wanted to be able to slide their files in there. They also use a lot of Post-it notes. So we flushed in the Post-it note piece. We also had locking cabinets in there. Okay, so each salesperson can have a locking cabinet of their own if they choose to have that. Power Sports and Marine. So Power Sports and Marine has become a very big category out there in a way of showcasing what you do and how you do it. And let's face it, the Marine stuff looks super sexy with all the lights lit up. It's very appealing when a customer walks in. So this is a display that we built for a gentleman in Wisconsin. He had called me. He's a big JL guy, and he wanted a full JL board. So we did a full JL with the custom graphics. And obviously, he just wanted to talk about Power Sports and Marine. He had a separate Harley display, so he had the motorcycle. So we designed this display specifically around that. Turned out great. Got the halo lighting. We did the subwoofer enclosure below. This is another brainchild I had here a little while ago. This is probably about a year and a half ago. We created a boat, and we wanted this boat to be three-dimensional. I wanted this boat to look like it was floating on water, and then we stuck LEDs in between the boat and the water, so it actually made it look like it's floating on the water. Again, we put a TV screen in this. We put a set of towers in this. We put 2 amps, subwoofer, and again, we can make it for any brand. This customer was doing all Hertz. He requested that we do Hertz, so that's what we did. We put the Hertz logo on it. This is another Power Sports display that we did. This is the half moon idea, so it's curved on the lower section. Again, custom graphics, full JL system. This customer wanted a couple sets of towers on the left and right side, and we produced that for them, okay? And a subwoofer on the bottom. Again, one of the things always keep in mind is we're always looking for the dealer's logo. We try to put the dealer's logo on everything we do. And as you can see with that one, it's up in the top right corner with precision of that dealer. Motorcycle displays. This is a massively crazy category these days. It's growing amazing. I talked to a lot of retailers, and I can't believe how quickly this category has taken off. And we came up with this with Kurt from Extreme Audio. He had the brainchild of he wanted to show speakers lower. He wanted to show speakers higher. He wanted the ability to show multiple sets of speakers playing at the same time. So we created this display a few years ago. And I think about a year and a half ago, Kurt called me and said, "Hey, Jody, is there a way we can put my menu boards on the side of this display?" So we made a custom menu board on the left and right side to showcase all the packages he offers for the different Harleys. And this has blown up his sales. He said it is so easy to sell for customers because they can see which bike they have and stages of packages that they can do. So very exciting. That was a cool concept that we had a lot of fun with, and it turned out amazing. This is our legendary motorcycle display. We wanted to create a display when a Harley rider walked into the store. There was no question. This was a Harley display. He could walk up to it. He could see what the fairing speakers will sound like. He'll see what the lower speakers sound like. He will understand this entire system. Plus, we added a little accent lighting to make sure that we add a little lighting when we're doing the install. We wanted to hone in on everything for motorcycles so that customer would accent and do what they wanted to do to figure out what makes the most sense for them. But we want this to be very easy for that customer and make them understand how it's going to sound. The other thing that's very cool about it is this display rips. It's all wooden enclosures in behind. None of the speakers are separated. They're all in their own enclosures, so you can really rip on this display. Window tint displays. We've been doing a lot of window tint displays. A lot of guys are getting into this, which is great to see because there's great margins in this. This is just a couple examples of a few different window tint displays that we do. The one on the left is a Lumar system. This customer is full Lumar, so we tailored to his needs of Lumar. The other customer on the right does different variants of window tint. So we made it very generic. But one of the requests that this customer had was that he had the request that he wants to show the levels of tint. So basically, when you walk up, you can see the levels that he offers. So we came up with a system to do that. And that's how we did it up top on that second panel. We also added in the blocking out the taillights. They do a lot of blocking out taillights, and we had some panels on there that we could put some graphics. So we added that in for this customer. Again, trying to make sure we cater to your needs. Another window tint display. This one here has a little bit more. This one has vehicle wrap on it, has paint protection on it. So we brought in a lot of elements for this customer to sell on one display. So we made it very simple. He hadn't installed the glass yet for the heat lamps. He had to tint those, so those are not on the image. But I want to just point out one thing to you. These are the things, the little things that we really try to hone in on when we do it. When you do paint protection, everybody offers different packages of the paint protection. So we wanted to make sure that this customer got the paint protection that they offered for a package. And what we ended up doing is obviously showcasing the different add-ons so that it was very clear what you received as you went up the system. Okay, that was a big, big deal for us because we want this display to be a silent salesperson when that customer walks in. Vehicle wraps. Vehicle wraps have definitely, we've had the ability to jump on this over the last year and a half, and it's been exciting because this gets us into a different market, and it also helps other retailers showcase some vehicle wrap displays, and we want it to look cool. We want it to look modern when they come in. So this here is a display where you buy the 3M kit with all the samples, and we build a display where all the samples just click right into the display. So very easy. It can change out whenever you want. We put your logo, we put the graphics up top, and the full RGB halo. But we took it one step further. We came up with another concept where we did lit acrylic, and we added little plastic cars in that the dealers can wrap the cars to take them outside. We just wanted to add that wow factor. So we came up with this concept. Kind of cool. You know, it lights up the bottom edge. It gives you that accent, gives you that glow. But again, it's an attractive piece when a consumer walks in the door. They realize that you are the professionals because they will not see a display like this anywhere in the country. Subwoofers. So I will tell you a small story about subwoofers. When I was out one day buying something, I was at a jewelry store and I was looking at all the different ways that they display rings, and I saw this little pedestal displaying all these rings up there. And for some reason, I came up with this idea of creating a cool look for subwoofers because I didn't like the fact that when I walked into stores, subs were always sitting on boxes. They were concave. They were sitting on actual subwoofer boxes. You know, the woofer could be worth $400 and it looked like it was worth $150. So I wanted to do the reverse. I wanted to take a woofer that looks like $199 and make it look like it's $500. So I came up with this concept, a simple pedestal display. You can see it from both angles. This is our 11 speaker one. We also make a 7 speaker one, which is a little bit smaller. So depending on the size of the room that you have, you can do that. We also edge lit. We actually cut into the acrylic, okay, and we edge light it up. So it looks really, really, really cool when the customer walks in. And that's the fact that we wanted to do. We wanted to create that consumer that has a really, really good appearance when they walk in. Lighting. Lighting displays have been a challenge for us in the way that lighting changes. And I believe as a person who's been in the retail game for many, many years as well, I understood that the consumer has to understand it. So we came up with an idea. When we were doing lighting displays, there's two fundamental things that we will do. We will always install the product for the dealer. I will never let a dealer install their own product. And the second thing is we will make sure we try to make it as realistic as possible. So when the customer comes in, they understand where this product all goes. So as you can see from this display, we did the difference for motorcycles. We did marine, we did Jeep, we did emergency lighting. We did the truck on the lower bottom with the actual light bars on it. We try to make it as realistic as possible and all fully active. Okay, we had one where Racesport called us for a general RV, and this was a big RV company, and they needed something created that would speak to the RV consumer. So we came up with that concept. Another one we came up with a while ago was a very large 5-foot lighting display that accented, you know, the trucks, the Jeeps, but we wanted to make it as virtual as possible. So when that customer walked up, they understood what that display did and how it functioned. And again, pressing buttons, it's fully active and fully in your realm of being able to sell itself. Slat Wall. We do a lot of custom slat wall these days. I was in a Verizon store here a little while ago buying a new phone for one of the kids, and I looked over and saw this slat wall that they have in their store. So I can't take credit for this. I tweaked it a little. I made it ours, but at the end of the day, I got this idea from them. And I thought, you know, let's get out with the older slat wall of the 80s and let's try to modernize ourselves. So I came up with this concept. We sell it by 4x8 sheets. We sell it by 4x4, 2x4. We sell it tons of different options. So if guys call us, we have many options that can work with what they would like. One of the things that we did is we ended up making shelves for one customer to show his all his awards. The other thing that we did is, this is the Audio Express one. They did some slat wall in behind their counter, and you can see how it mimics their front counter. So everything matches in their store and just gives it a very nice, clean look, which is very, very exciting for us. The second thing that we came up with is a wheel wall. I have always wanted to make wheel walls look cool and sexy, and we came up with a very cool way to do that. So we have the full RGB look. This was Car Toys out in Atlantic City. James from Car Toys gave us the opportunity to create a wall, and we had a lot of fun with this wall. So they have these wheels facing in, and then they have 12 wheels facing outside. We also had a store in Columbus, Car Audio, who just did a very simple up on the wall, 24 wheels, look super clean, super sexy, and they are now in the wheel game. So when consumers walk in their door, they're going to see something very, very unique. We also created wheel wall islands. So now if you have an island, you don't have a wall, we can actually put a wheel wall in your store and put it on an island so you can have double-sided. So again, we try to make sure that we accommodate to everybody. We also came up with a cool outdoor display. This customer, Sounds Fast, called me and said, hey, we're going to do a lot of trade shows next year. What can you do for us, Jody? And I said, well, let's create an aluminum structure, and then let's put panels on it that can be easily replaced, and tell me the categories. So they walked me through the categories. They wanted to do window tint. So we showed window tint. They wanted to do wheels. We showed wheels. They wanted to do on the other side of the wheels, the other section of wheels for cars, but they also wanted to show their paint protection. So we were able to do that. We also showed lighting. So we created lighting. They ended up doing 2 different brands of lighting. So one brand's on one side, one brand's on the other. The CompuStar, we got the remotes. Here's the head unit. So we put a head unit, pair of speakers, and amp, and there is a speaker terminal. They can add a subwoofer box. The reason we did aluminum is very simple. It's going to get beat up. It's lightweight. We can simply sand it at the end of the season. It looks brand new again, and you're out the door. We actually also, in the bottom corner, you can see little tabs on there. We actually put spiking feet, so if they're ever at a show and it gets windy and they're on grass, they can spike the displays into the ground. So we tried to really think of everything. And the cool part, it simply wheels into their trailer. They said within 45 minutes, they're set up at a show and they're ready to go. So that was a cool project that we had the opportunity to do. All right, so I just want to walk through just a couple stores, just to show guys and owners and salespeople and installers what a store, a finished product will look like. So this is the Audio Express stores now. They go over 5 or 6 states. Again, their goal was to create a store that had the full family effect to it, okay? They wanted, if you were walking Colorado, you were to walk in Phoenix, Tucson, you get the same look as you go through all the stores. So we were able to do this store, which was super exciting. And as you can see, you get the rear seat entertainment, you get the subwoofer wall, you see the lifestyle posters. We did a lot of lifestyle posters in this store. So I want guys out there to understand that if you're looking to update your store, a lifestyle poster is a great way to do that, okay? It's very simple, cost effective, and you can change out the poster anytime you want. So that's one of the beautiful parts about it. This is how that store looks at night. If you walk into that store and it's dusk out, that's how that store will look, which is super cool. Again, we did the backlit posters. We did the graphics up top. We did the edge lighting out the front. We did the halo lighting on the bottom. And one of the things too, if you notice on all the amplifiers, they all glow. Well, we add an amp mount to every single amplifier that we do. And the reason we do that is we never want you to ever screw into your panels. This amp mount can be RGB, can be one color. It's got multiple arms on it, so it can extend and contract. We make it for power sports amps as well. So for guys out there who want to just update the boards that they have now, we have a lot of guys who call us and say, hey, I need 10 amp mounts for an old board I have because I don't want to redo the boards in a year. We sell them. We have them. Call me and we can definitely help you out with that. That's the clean. Obviously, the background to what you're seeing with me, you see the background with that store. This is also the JL audio, the sound damping and the kicker. And notice up top, we have the JL graphics on one side. We have the kicker graphics on the other. And if you look above the counter, one of the really cool things that Rob and I had come up with, was this. We wanted to show the history of Audio Express. They've been in the business since 1974, and there are not many retailers in this country who could say they've been doing it since 1974. So we wanted to show something that showed the level and the history of this company. So when a consumer walked to the front of that counter and was paying for it, and they looked up at that graphic, they understood they were buying from a company who's been in the business a long time, and they've seen the growth of where they've come. And that was a very, very cool statement piece. Plus, for the employees who work in that store, they were able to see where Audio Express has been and where they've came, which is very exciting. Safe and Sound. This was a store we had the opportunity to meet Mike and Dave about a year and a half ago. And I got the phone call, asked to come out to see this store, and I couldn't understand what I was going out to see. But once I walked in and met these two individuals, I understood very clearly what they were trying to accomplish. And they, you know, at the end of the day, they entrusted us to do their store, and it was a great, great honor. So this is their car audio room. They wanted to do the high-end boards, which you saw at the beginning. They did a 7-speaker subwoofer display. They did the head units in the corner. They did a lot of slat wall. They have a lot of products they wanted to hang. So we did slat wall all over the store, as you will see. So here are the audio boards, the head unit board that holds all their head units. Again, everything was RGB controlled. This is their OEM, their Power Sport. So as you walk in the store, this is what you see. When you walk through the store, to the left of you, you'll see the OEM, and the Power Sports. To the right, you'll see all the audio. This is what you see when you turn the corner. This store is absolutely amazing. You know what? One of the cool things I will tell you about Mike, the owner of this store, he used to be an installer in the 80s. So, you know, it just shows you all the installers out there in this world. You can have this in your life if you just work and focus. It's super cool. When I found out his history and how he became who he became and how he got to this point in his life, it's an amazing story, and one that I will share with anybody. If anybody ever wants to know about Mike, I will tell you some stuff about him that is absolutely, truly remarkable of getting to this level in the game. This is the Safe and Sound home speaker section. So this section here, they gave me the challenge to put in multiple sets of speakers. I believe there's 29 pairs of speakers in this display, and we had to come up with something. So it was a heck of a challenge, but we created, I believe, something that was very, very cool and never really been done before. So as you can see, there's speakers underneath the lip when you walk in, and we lit underneath. Plus, we have all the outdoor speakers on the outside, and literally walk up there, press any button, you hear any speaker that you want to hear. It's all by the touch of a button. This is the backside where all their high-end speakers are. They wanted to show Dyne Audio, JBL. They wanted to show Calypse. They wanted to show Polk Audio. We created some pedestals. We created all the lifestyle posters, all in high-res images. They do look like a high-def TV. This is what you look like when you're standing at the front counter looking at the store. You get all the islands going down the middle for all their tower speakers. One of the things that they have is they have a lot of tower speakers they wanted to show. So we had to create an island that was both universal but functional. So we designed this. Those middle sections actually adjust up and down depending on the level and the height of the tower speaker they plan to showcase. That was one thing I was adamant about. I didn't want something nailed down or screwed down that they couldn't adjust and move around and limit themselves. I wanted them to be unlimited with any type of product they put on there. Receivers. This is the receiver wall we created. There are 180 shelves on this wall, 180. The skid that we sent out to them, just a fun fact, weighed 2,000 pounds just for the shelving. So that was pretty exciting. One of the things Dave wanted lighting. He wanted everything to be lit up. So we installed LED lightings into the trim panel that are all removable. So if the lighting does fail over the years, they can simply pull the panel, put a new strip in, and they're back in the game. This is how it looks going all the way down the hallway. It is a very remarkable sight to walk into this store and see that receiver wall. It's pretty cool. Front counter. They needed a counter that was an accent to everything else that they did in their store. So we did our 2 8-footers. We did posters above. They also had a special request. They had a cappuccino maker. Mike and Dave liked their cappuccinos. So they wanted a cool cappuccino maker. We created a little island, put a fridge in there, and again, edge lit it to match their store. The final images of the store is when you turn the corner. This is what you also see in the back while you're having your cappuccino. You see the receiver wall. You see all the posters. I believe, I'm not quite sure what the number is, but I believe it's close to 150 feet of fabric posters in this store. So they allowed me to convince them to do this, and it was a great honor to watch this store come to life because we had never done anything like this before. This was a very cool experience to work and do home audio like we do. I'm a huge home guy too. And to work and know that displaying product like this came out the way it did was very cool. And again, this is the coolest picture I think of them all. This is looking from Dave and Mike's office, looking down on their showroom floor every morning is what they see. A very, very cool site. And my hat's off to both them and Audio Express for designing some great stores this year. And that's it. That's kind of bringing you up to speed with what we do. That's, you can check us out on Instagram. You can check us out on Facebook, and also check us out on the website. It will have our phone number on there. If you have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of us.
Jody, you and I have known each other for a long time, and I have never felt so inspired to open my own store until I just went through that presentation. I mean, I remember back in the day, you can almost say the displays are somewhat primitive compared to what's available today from a design standpoint, from especially the lighting. We didn't have those options in lighting, back in the day. And to see how you've integrated all that into the displays, regardless of what the content is really a sight to be seen.
Well, thank you. One of the things that I definitely want people to understand is I had the opportunity to work in retail for 20 years, and I understood the frustration. So when I started this company, I tried to bring all the frustrations I had owning a store and try to eliminate them. And we really try to make it turnkey. Panels pop off, panels go on, graphics are interchangeable so that you're never stuck with the display as a permanent fixture.
Yeah. And I remember in the heyday, and I'd like to hear your comment on this, you'd walk into a store, there was so much stock everywhere. And the display board was just never perfect. It was wires, holes missing, buttons that didn't work, lights that were burnt out. And I always felt like, man, this shouldn't be this way. You know what I mean? There's got to be a better way. And I think
you're right. And you're so right, Ben. We have to look at what I read a lot about consumer awareness, and we have to look at what consumers see. And consumers walk into Apple stores.
I was just going to say Apple. You took it right out of my head. Yeah.
I hate to use the Apple word. I really do, just because of the fact that we've all referred to Apple because they really kind of changed the way we think. But you look at Coach bags. My wife, she doesn't even take me to the mall anymore because I take off on her and I go look at all the different stores to see what everybody's doing nowadays. And you're seeing it everywhere. Everyone is trying to clean up the way they present. And you're right. Less is more. We have to remember that. Less is always more. And having empty holes and wires sticking out, the consumer looks at that and they don't get a good opinion.
They're just turned off. At the very least, not as motivated as they should be. How's that?
You're right. And just one other thing that I want to touch on really quick before we jump over. One of the greatest things that I hear from most store owners is the fact that when they're done, they don't have to sell themselves so hard. They don't have to worry about the consumer not believing what they say because their store does it for them. And that's what's very important to me, is making your store sell what you do.
Yeah. And how much value can be placed in that first 10-second impression when a customer walks in.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break from you. Let you have a drink of water. But in the meantime, we have a video roll here, which I think you're going to be happy what you see here, Jody. We've got 3 of your customers that came on and took the time to kind of walk us through their displays and what they thought about working with your team. Why don't we roll the
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Viewers, this is Steve Jurgensen from Race Sport Lighting. We're actually at headquarters in our display room. And I just want to tell you about our partnership with 5-Axis Solutions. They've been a great partner. Those guys know how to do displays and do them right. We've been partners for going on several years now. And we offer, as far as Race Sport Lighting, a whole array of displays. Those are mainly produced by 5-Axis Solution, which is our partner on the display program. And even right behind me, you'll see that we got some beautiful powered wall displays that really bring light to the category. They're interactive. Customers can touch them and play with them. What's great about this is in the past, before 5-Axis Solutions, putting together displays for dealers was difficult because we had to ship them parts and things like that and panels, and they had to put them together. And most of the time, our sales guys would show up at the dealer and they were frustrated and they just couldn't believe how much work it cost. With 5-Axis, it's a total solution. They build these right in their factory. They package them up nice and safe so they don't get broken en route, and they ship them right to your store, and they mount on the wall just like this with 4 bolts, and they power on, and they got power supplies, and they're ready to go. So these are an awesome solution from 5-Axis just for us at Raceport Lighting. Follow me though. I want to show you a couple of our smaller displays that they put together. Now, behind me is just a slat wall. We came to 5-Axis just a few years ago. We said, hey, we had hundreds of guys that bought the big wall displays, but we have a lot of guys with smaller shops that don't have that type of space, or they don't want to invest that type of money or qualifying order, and they want something just simple that can work in their small showroom. And so we actually developed a line of counter or slat displays from 5-Axis. And so you can see these actually clip in, or they can sit right on your countertops. And so you can also daisy chain them together and actually link products. Now, most of these are powered, and so obviously they're not powered right now where they're sitting, but you can get an idea of how that would work. Now, you'll also see our gallery of non-powered, just simple slat wall displays that can be obtained with a very small order with any dealer that would request one. And so these bring highlights to the Jeep, the Ford truck or Raptor community, and GM trucks and different things you can do for that. These are all designed by our partners at 5-Axis Solution. Those guys do a fabulous job. Jody, who's the president of that company, is a great guy to work with, but he has a good team. Phil, who's great at the application and construction. Nikki, that helps out with the graphics. The whole team is really easy to work with. And so I just wanted to give you a testimonial that if you're thinking about doing your showroom or displays, my vote's for 5-Axis Solution. They've been a great partner for Raceport Lighting. And with that, get your showroom done.
I'm Kirk from Extreme Audio. I want to show you the displays that 5-Axis built for us. Here's our remote starter display. Here's our motorcycle display that was built for us with custom menus on the side and awesome graphics.
5-Axis built this car audio display system for us. It shows off a range of head units from double-dins to single-dins, as well as speakers, amps, and subwoofers that we can combine to show what your car audio needs would be.
Here we have custom displays built for us as well to show our outdoor audio speakers, as well as in-ceiling speakers and subwoofers for the home, as well as towers. All the graphics and networking was designed by 5-Axis. We used to build all our own displays. After working with Jody at 5-Axis, we'll never build another display again. I will be calling on him in the future for more displays.
Hey there, it's David at Safe and Sound, and we just want to take a minute to thank the guys over at 5-Axis for helping tackle this project. We had an idea of what we wanted to do here and how we wanted to display it, and they took that idea and morphed it into reality. Their team is one of a kind. They are super attentive. They always answer their phone. They're there to help, and you won't regret hiring this team to make your dream store. So thanks again, guys. I want to show you around real quick and show you some of the cool things that they did for us. So as we round the corner here, we've got our OEM integration, marine, motorcycle, and power sports audio boards. We've got our head unit board. Also got 3 different packages built into this board where we can do a deck, amplifier, pair of speakers, and a subwoofer, ABC, 3 different packages. We've got our mid-fi board. You can do deck power, 4-channel power, 2 different mono blocks, 4 different subwoofers, and all the speakers you see here. We've got a closing counter, which worked out really good. Jody's idea, because our counter was on that side of the store. So if we're working with a customer here, we can quickly quote them out, build them out on this side of the store. We've got our hi-fi board, 2 different 4 channels, 2 different mono blocks, 4 different subs, and all the speakers you see there. We've got our CompuStar display. This is one of those backlit fabric posters that he offers. Super vibrant. Pops. It has a little tablet built into it too with a little demo video, which is nice. Got the floating subwoofer display. Plenty of slat wall throughout the whole building. We move on to the home audio side. Wanted a way to display all of our floor standing speakers, bookshelf speakers, and Jody and his team engineered and built these 3 racetracks to display all of these products. Nice and lit up underneath. Same thing, we had a ton of gear to display that needed racking. Jody and his team designed and built all these racks that go down the entire store that hold all the gear that we have. We wanted to display as many outdoor and architectural in-ceiling speakers that we could and have them function as a functional display board. He was able to design a board similar to a car audio board that does all of those things. We've got our 4 flagship speaker brands here that we have showcased that have their own sections with their own fabric posters. And as you can see, we did these fabric posters throughout the store. It's super hard to tell in the video and pictures, but they're vibrant. I mean, when people walk in here, they say, like, what size TV is that? It's a super, super cool look. Got our counter. We wanted to make sure our counter was big enough because this is a huge wall, so did a custom length counter for us. Also wanted to do an espresso bar, so he built out this bar for us to match everything as well, which is awesome. And everything just flows. We've got all the matching LEDs on this side of the store for the home audio section. These all color flow in the same order on this side, and then all of the car audio side has a separate color flow. Or we can have them all do the same thing, but it's nice to kind of separate it and have 2 separate areas going on here. So again, just want to thank the guys at 5 Access. Thanks for doing an excellent job on this product. And we highly recommend these guys for all of your display needs and design needs. These guys are absolutely capable of everything. If you can dream it, they can build it, and they will take care of you.
I don't know how many steak dinners that was that you have to kind of.
Oh, I owe Dave a lot. I told him I will fly out, and yes, I owe those guys a ton.
I think everybody on there did a great job and really reinforced the entire presentation and what you've been messaging this entire session here, Jody. First of all, welcome to our new guests that are on the screen with us. This is Team 5 Axis Innovation. You heard a couple of the customers there mention their names. So on the left, we have Phil Plagge, who's the general manager. Hi, Phil. How are you?
Hello.
And on the right, the infamous Nikki Poole, headmistress of the graphic design department over at 5 Axis. Welcome, Nikki.
Hi.
Listen, I want to spend a little bit of time. Obviously, Jody, you don't do this all by yourself. Although it seems like it at times, but I think with growth, you've built your team, and I think it's very important that. And I commend you for bringing your team onto the show. Phil, talk to us a little bit about your role and a little bit of your industry experience, because you're not exactly new to this industry, are you?
No. So my background is 12 volt. I started, back in the mid 90s installing at Best Buy, and have worked my way up through different custom shops. I own my own business. When I came on with Jody, do this full time, and at that point I closed my shop, but I just do referral work. But the nice thing about that is I am able to bridge the gap between like Jody and the customer, because essentially I am one of his customers. So, I have a lot of experience where I can bring, stuff to the table as far as design and, needs and just information as far as like what needs to be built and whatnot.
It's so important, because when shops are calling, they don't have to be shy to try to dumb down a situation and explain what it is they're looking for. They're talking to a technician, so yes. Give it to him straight, and he'll figure out how it works, because he understands where you're coming from, right?
Plus, we do a lot of the wiring in house too. So, like with 12 volt background, I'm able to, I'm familiar with the products that we're installing. So,
well, that's a plus as well. So that's very important.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jody earlier on. You're talking about a complete turnkey solution when it comes to these displays. No assembly required. One of your customers even said, we'll never even attempt to build our own displays ever again. So Phil, can you speak to us a little bit about how complete that process actually is, or that package actually is?
So it's evolved. Like, after we started, and you learn from customers. You know, with their customer feedback is critical, because their feedback makes the next customer's experience that much better. You know, because if there's things that we could fix, adjust, do better on, you know, we just put that into the brand. So how at this point, the way our displays come, they're fully wired, switching, power supplies, speaker wires. Sometimes we load the product. Sometimes the customers will load their own product. But like an audio display, it's literally hang it on the wall, plug it in, and you're ready to go. The lights are programmed already. Switching's ready to go. Like it's literally plug and play.
So it doesn't come in pieces. It's literally hang it up and start pressing on the buttons. Plug
Take it on the skid, hang it on the wall, and plug it in.
I mean,
and one of the things too, Ben, we actually do, as well as what Phil was saying, is we actually cut all the holes for all the speakers. So if the dealer gives us all the models he wants in there, we'll cut them, we'll label them. So when he gets it, he's just loading product.
Literally just plugging in the speaker and drilling in the 4 screws.
Yes.
Done. Beautiful. Or, like you said, Phil, send you guys the product, and you guys take care of all that. And so it's ready to plug.
Sometimes the customers opt for that option. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the production process a little bit, you know, from a customer standpoint. Okay, I'm interested. You got me, guys. I want a new soundboard. Walk me through this process from the point I pick up the phone and call you guys.
They talk to Jody as far as taking care of the sales and the concepts and the drawings. Once it leaves Jody's hands, it goes to both Nikki and myself. Nikki handles graphics, printing, and all that, you know, everything on the front end. And then I take it to my team in the back, and everything starts from, it's amazing how it'll start from a bunk of wood to a full display. You know, we keep almost everything in-house. We have, you know, we work direct with manufacturers and vendors, local machine shops for building some of our metal work. And it's from conception to completion, all in-house.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm not going to hold you to this, but just to get a rough idea, you know, what are we talking about as timelines from a basic order? And we're not talking about down to the week, but are we talking like a month? Are we talking 6 months? What are we talking about here?
So there are things that it depends how large your order is, how busy we are. We've had customers call in for switching that we've been able to ship out the same day.
Oh, okay.
Typically a display, I don't know, what would you say about it?
I usually tell most people it's anywhere between 30 to 45 days, depending on the level of what they're doing, right? Yeah. You know, and again, we try to really, you know, make it work with certain guys. If they're ordering something smaller, we will try to squeeze them in a little quicker.
Fair enough. And that's, for me anyways, especially in the world we're living in, very reasonable. And honestly, a task of that magnitude, you can't expect it to be that quick, especially for the type of detail that you're putting into the products that you're putting out custom for these customers. Thanks a lot, Phil. I just want to direct my next few questions to Nikki there. Jody keeps mentioning all the graphic design services. Can you outline that for us a little bit so that customers can understand exactly what type of services you guys offer from graphic perspective?
So we do, as you've seen, like a lot of the posters and stuff, we do all of those. The LED panels, those headers that you'll see on top of the displays, we design all of those. And then even like logo design, if a customer comes to us and they want to recreate their logo, we are more than happy to do that for them. It's a lot of fun. And it's different, you know. And then we've also gotten into a lot of specialty work. Recently, we did a trailer graphic for somebody. That's something that we've never done before. It was new to us, but we're always looking for new challenges. And we had a lot of fun with that. The customer just emailed me all of the different sizing and everything. So I set up my document, and he also sent me pictures of the trailer. So I was able to see, okay, I need to look out for this, make sure text doesn't go off of here, all those sort of things. And then we even did a billboard before too. So even like local advertising, like we are more than happy to help you guys with anything. Anything that you give to us, we can definitely do it.
That's so important that you said everything, because Jody, as you know, a lot of these independent shops, how can I say this delicately? You know, they don't necessarily go through the right channels from a graphic design perspective, therefore not resulting in the premium results they should have. And knowing that you can kind of be that partner to help them, even beyond that first order, maybe they need something else from a graphic design service perspective, I think that's clutch. Sure.
One of the cool parts, and just talking about that trailer, this is where this customer was at. He called us and said, Jody, I want you to do this for me. I've already been working with a guy for the last month. This is what he's given me, but I don't like it. I want you to do it. And one of the greatest honors we had, and this is super off a compliment to Nikki, we sent it to him and we got, I love it, back in a text. And that was the first try. Mm-hmm. So that made us really happy with the fact that we understand very well what our audience is looking for.
So are you saying there's an industry knowledge component that gives you an edge when it comes to the graphics?
I do believe that. I believe that. I think with Phil's 20 years, my 20 years, we've done how many stores out there? We understand what most of these guys are looking for. And when they come to us, a lot of guys will deal with their brother, their sister, a friend, a graphics person, and they got to explain it. They got to walk it through it, and they're not sure. When they call us, we've done a million things in this world with this category in this division. So we can show them, hey, we've done this, we've done this, we've done, oh, I love that, I like that, I like that. Okay, Gerf, let's just take this and let's put it here. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot of confidence when a retailer calls us that we do understand what they're doing.
I'm going to throw, sorry, Nikki, I'm going to throw in a little personal experience here. So I had the pleasure to work with Nikki just through our CMA dealings. And as with you, Jody, I work with a ton of brands and stores throughout the industry. And it has been just a refreshing process to know that we're dealing with somebody who understands parameters, understands specifications. Because let's face it, it's another world, right? When you talk about resolution and large format printing and all these fancy terms that really a 12-volt shop might not be used to dealing with, it's good to know that the person sitting next to you knows exactly what she's talking about.
And the nice thing on relating to that trailer wrap is we could be across the country and do the artwork, send the files, and then they get it printed and wrapped locally. Like, you don't have to have your local print shop do everything. You could bring your design,
especially when that print shop doesn't really know much about 12-volt or whatever. You know what I mean? They wouldn't spot the little innuendos, let's say.
Right. And that's the advantage to using 5-axis for your design needs as well, is since we know so much about the industry, our turnover rate for design is so quick too. I'm either texting or emailing back and forth with these store owners, and it's very, okay, approved, off to press. Like, it's beautiful. You're not dealing with us for weeks on end, trying to get your designs finished. It's very quick.
Okay. Guys, we're down to a couple last questions. I think we've really covered a lot of it, but I want to circle back to a message that you said in the beginning of the show there, Jody, whereas, you want to be that partner for your business, for businesses, and you want to be that one-stop shop. Tell us about that.
Well, you're only as good as your team. That's the reality that we live in. And I've been very, very blessed with finding some great, great people. And with that, we are able to come to our retailer suppliers and really try to offer the best to them in a way of quality, in a way of pricing, in a way of efficiencies. The last month has been a little chaotic with moving, but we'll get back on track with all of that. But the idea is that I believe that all my people who work with me as a team, we all have the same end goal. We do. We all come to work and we all believe that what we send is the best that we can do, and we want to solve issues. When problems arise where a customer needs to sell something, we have to come up with a solution that will help them sell it effectively and on a budget that they are willing to put out there.
Very much so. And that, in a sense, is exactly the type of business partner you want to get into business with, somebody that understands your business first and foremost, but also wants to help you succeed. Because really, you would not succeed if your product didn't help me as a customer of yours succeed. So there's a bond there, right? There's a deal that's going on.
You're totally right.
Yeah. Mr. Owner, Jody, I'm going to give you one last opportunity. Final message for dealers. And, we talked a lot about dealers, but manufacturers, obviously, like Raysport Lighting, obviously could use displays as well. So what message do you have for them if they've made it this far and are interested in your products and services?
If guys are interested in the product, as for a retailer stance, one of the questions I get all the time is, do we offer financing and leasing? We do offer different options of payments. There is that option. The other thing that I want guys to understand out there for the group of what we do is the fact that you're able to call us and we're able to work with whatever budget you may have. Okay. If guys are calling us and they want to do a small reno to a large reno, we can work within those parameters. We really try to take every store as its one-off, its own entity. We don't treat any store as the same old store as anybody else. We really try to give everybody their own flair, their own look. I bounce questions off Phil all the time for his knowledge of the industry. Hey, Escort just called. They've got a new product. What is it? Oh, it's this. I installed 3 of them. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I love that idea. I love that we're in tune with what's going on. And I like the fact that with Nikki, we can go to her and say, hey, I've got this and this, but you know what? I a lot of times will let her have free reign to kind of say, this is kind of what we're thinking, but put your flair on it. Do what you think is cool. And we really try to bring that to the table. And as for suppliers, we've been absolutely blessed this year to work with some amazing, amazing suppliers. And, we're going to continue to grow that relationship. We just did a deal with Electra Media, which is very exciting to us as well. Sound Digital, Ground Zero, we've been working with. Kenwood, we've been working with. Race Sport, we've been working with. There's numerous guys that we've done displays for, and we're very, very thankful for their support.
Man, amazing. I'm going to bring up the graphic. If you're interested in getting hold of the 5-Axis Innovation team, make sure you go ahead and visit their website. 5axisinnovations.com is where you want to be. Brilliant show. Thank you for the presentation today. I think we really uncovered a little bit of the inner workings of what goes on at 5-Axis Innovations. And give these guys a call. Talk to Nikki. Get a logo designed. You want to talk about a system, buttons, and how that works. Call Phil. And if you want to empty your bank account, call Jody. He's good at taking your money. No, I'm just kidding. Work with Jody, this team. These guys know what they're doing. Guys, on that note, thank you so much for joining us today in studio. And we look forward to talking to you again.
Oh, good. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care now. All right. So we want to remind you to make sure to tune into our CMA roundtables. Yes, roundtables presented by 5-Axis Innovations, of course, where we get 5 retailers together and share their thoughts and discuss about what's going on in certain categories. This time it's all about motorcycle and Jeep. That should be an interesting one. Also, tune in to find out about the contest that we announced of your chance to win a custom sound damping display courtesy of 5-Axis Innovation. That all goes down tonight, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Also want to remind you to continue tuning in to CMA Networks for our theme, which is currently going on, and it's all about car audio. In fact, it's car audio all month long, right through to June 15th. It features the premier bands in the category, all about car audio all month long. And last but not least, if you haven't already, go to our website, cmanetworks.com, brand new, all revamped. Search for your favorite categories or brands, or even through your favorite trainer to get your learn on through hundreds of videos to choose from. That's it. This has been a fun one, uncovering what's going on at 5-Axis Innovations. This is CMA 12-Volt Insider, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
Yo, roll it down. I am. You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?